Hello everyone, so it's John here from John's Red Bus. So the impression I had when I found out that I was nominated for Humanitarian Star at STARS Night WYSPA TV was a huge sense of joy and pride, purely because I know how much hard work myself and all my volunteers and other charity groups I work with have put in over this last year, just over a year. So helping many refugees, helping many animals. So I think it would be a great opportunity to raise awareness for all this hard work that's been done to help people in need and animals. I've been following Wyspa TV now since over 2 years since they started, and I know they've progressed greatly, filming many high quality articles and events. I actually had the pleasure of meeting their team at an event a year ago or so. So I know how well they work, and I know the audience they've built is very high quality. So I think this will be a really good opportunity for everyone involved at John's Red Bus and the people we work with to raise awareness for that. So thank you. What made me get involved in helping Ukraine and refugees was seeing the invasion of Ukraine by Russia last February. And like many people around the world, I was just completely horrified and shocked at what was going on. And I felt that there has to be something I can do. And I was completely compelled to get up, do something, just help as much as I can. The biggest motivation, the motivating fact, or what compelled me the most, was my grandfather. He was Polish and a World War II refugee at the age of 9 when World War II broke out. So he was born and raised near the Polish-Ukraine border, near Lviv. And growing up over the years, as a child, I heard the story many times from my grandmother, how his family was torn apart in the war. So him and his younger brother, who's 5 years younger, were taken with his parents into Russia by the Soviet Union, the army. They were separated from their parents. Their parents were taken to Siberia to a prisoner camp, never to be seen again. He was thankfully rescued along with his younger brother by a charity organization and taken to Africa, of all places. So Kenya, near Mount Kilimanjaro. So a child war refugee camp there. After spending a few years there, when the war finally finished, he was placed with a sponsor family in UK. So that was his story growing up as a child. So when this war broke out, there were so many memories and thoughts of this story I've been told of my grandfather, who's sadly no longer alive. He passed away in 1990 due to heart troubles. But that was, along with the shock factor, the biggest thing that compelled me to help, because I know how much pain he endured during that time, and history repeating itself, I just had to help. So John's Red Bus has been to Ukraine 17 times now. We've delivered many vehicles, over 35 now, consisting of off-road vehicles, pickups, ambulances, vans, people carriers, for various people, organizations who need a specific vehicle, whether it be navigating over rough terrain or snow in the winter to rescue people or get to a hard to reach area. We've delivered many tons of aid to various locations in Ukraine, whether it be to the capital or 10 miles from the front line. It's hard to say what our most important mission was, because each mission is important. We're helping people survive, we're helping people escape, we're helping animals rescued as well. What springs to mind, one of the most challenging missions was, we had travelled 2 days from near Zaporizhia in Ukraine, carrying a bus full of refugees and about 5 animals. We arrived at the Polish border, which is always a challenge and quite lengthy sometimes, because there's obviously all the paperwork, the passports, documentation, etc., inventories that need to be checked. And on this occasion, we were actually refused entry into Poland, into the EU, at which point a couple of the refugees were in tears. They didn't quite understand what was going on. They thought maybe we weren't able to leave Ukraine. The issue was one of the animals we were carrying didn't have the sufficient paperwork because it wasn't traveling with its owner. So we were then turned away from that border crossing. I then had to use my experience, my skills, problem-solving skills to get us out of this predicament and get us out of Ukraine into Poland and carry on with our journey. So I made a few phone calls to good contacts I've made over the time I've spent there. And thankfully we managed to get the required letter and travel a few hours to another border crossing where that letter was then accepted and we were able to cross the border.